this chair has issues.
I'm special!
But I'm not going to dwell on that. Look at my surroundings. How can I complain? I was going to start this episode with a small, but I think important disclaimer that I should probably start out each episode with, and that is that all opinions and theories and wild conjectures that I come up with in these episodes are entirely my own, and you are free to argue with, but there will be no bullying.
Here, bully, 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 bully!
Do I really need a disclaimer? Hey, I'm just covering the bases.
Chickens don't clap!
Now, today's episode. When are you tall? When are you your tallest? The tallest of all. Tall? Why are you jumping on that wagon? Why people gotta be tall? Just being heightest. You're one of those now, an elitist tall person lover.
You're tall, she's tall, I'm tall. What's the difference who's tall? We're all tall.
Is there such a thing as tallism? I mean, there's tallest. Is there tallest? These are all semantics.
Details.
I'm not being tallest or heightest. I'm being metaphorical. Because when I say tall, I don't mean tall as in something you measure with a ruler or a tape measure or some sign at the fair that says you must be this tall to ride this weird thing.
The roller coaster?
No, when I say tall in this instance, I mean spiritually. The standing tall in your creative prowess, the absolute height of your creative powers, the tallest. That's what I mean when I say tall. When are you most creative in the day? Do you know your creative tall time zone? I mean, tall or short, every day contains a bit of both. Mentally, spiritually, metaphorically. And feeling short,
Little hand, little eye.
or as I say in the piece, the preferred term is small, is not a bad thing. Being short at some part of the day is actually necessary. And remember this one line from the thing that I wrote that I have yet to introduce, but I will in a minute. And that line is, small is just resting tall. Now, Janeen fact, I am 5'6". I'm not, by any tape measure standards, I'm not tall.
I wish I was a little bit taller.
I'm actually average, which is a word that covers so many things about me. But I digress. Today we're talking about a piece of my writing called The Tall Order of the Creative Sweetspot. It's a tall story. No, it's not. What? No, it's not. It's not a lie. A tall story is a lie. This is not a lie. This is just a theory. What? As I said, it's a story about being creatively tall at different times of the day.
Tall.
And finding out what that best time is to be tall for you.
Short stack or tall?
That time of the day when you are creatively
So tall.
looming, dominating, towering over the world. Tall as in capable of pulling ideas and characters and creation from the very air itself. This high, rarefied air that tall people are in, or tall creative people are in. Or when you're in, that's you are in, not urine. That sounded weird. Point is, you just feel more capable, smarter when you're tall. It's a fine time, if you can find it.
I wish I was taller.
What time of the day is that for you? Is it morning? Is it night? Is it sometime around 2? Have you ever noticed when that time is? When you just feel like you're being real sharp, tall? Maybe you should figure that out. That's what this whole post is about. By the way, I am not saying that every idea or thought or creative spark that comes to you within this moment of being tall will be gold.
You're indestructible.
It's more that when you're tall, creatively, you are more open to receiving signals. I guess that's what I'm saying. Tall people got greater vision in terms of the distance they can see. They can see over the heads of all the other untall things in the creative subway car. Oh, man, you're really grasping at the metaphors today. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying that when you're tall, you're able to reach for the highest items on your creative shelves. Or something like that. I can't remember exactly what I said in the piece, but it involved shelves and high things and maybe not needing a ladder.
Tell me more.
That's all I'm saying. Is that all you're saying? No, I'm saying more. Here it comes. You ready? Let's go. I usually bring up the inspiration for the post, what set off the idea. For this piece, it was actually, again, as it often is, something that I read that stated that us humans, we skin tubes, you and I, when we get up in the mornings out of bed, springing like spring lambs in spring. That's too many springs.
Let's dial it back.
Point is, when we get up in the morning, us humans, skin tubes, blah, 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 we are taller. Point of clarification, we are the normal height when we get up in the morning. When compared to the afternoon, we are physically taller in the morning. Now, this is a result of simple physics, or more precisely,
I do not think you realize the gravity of your situation.
gravity. So basically, you walk around all day in your typical human ways, doing whatever you do in your life. I'm not going to judge, you do you. And as you walk around, gravity pushes down on you, compressing your spine and your joints and bones, and I think it even makes your organs settle down all day. The oppressive hand of gravity on the top of our heads just pushing us down. We have no power against the force of gravity, causing us to lose. I mean, it's not a lot, but a centimetre. That sounds like a lot. Sitting, standing, makes no difference.
The gravity of the situation crept up on him.
Compression. And then come the night time, the sweet, sweet night time, when we lie down and go to night-night beddy times, we have a chance to decompress. Our spines settle back to their original heights. Unless you're getting old, in which case over the course of your life it becomes more permanent, I guess. I read that by the time a man is 70, he has lost, roughly, an inch off his height.
Too cute, too tall.
Women, they have lost 2 inches in height, on average.
Why?
Maybe I should start looking into those reaching ones. I'm going to need one of those, probably. But that's physical tall. Again, as I set up, I'm talking about creatively tall, firing on all your little brain neurons and coming up with ideas.
Because you're so tall.
Toppermost of the poppermost kind of tall. Fun fact, thanks for asking, I am morning tall. This is the sunset. I mean, that's when I feel like it's all come together for me, like there's a clear space for me to operate in. And I often get up at 5 a.m. to write.
You're crazy in the coconut.
Probably because that's when my brain feels most rested, which, the gravity of the day before has pushed me down with anxiety and stress and whatever.
I hope you understand the gravity of the situation.
And overnight, I've had time to rest and for my mind spine to elongate and get back to the clarity of my tallness.
So I will get tall.
It's like all that stuff has moved out of the way in this whole thing, and I just go for it and feel tall. Probably because it feels, and I hate to say this, emptier in there. It's empty head. More room for activities.
This is my office.
I can dunk ideas first thing in the morning, and I don't even play basketball. Now, on the flip side, I am not night tall. Not at all. I know some of you out there are. Not me. I am, in fact, incredibly short in the afternoon. Like super short. Small. But being small is actually a good thing because small is just resting tall. And to rest tall, that's like the equivalent of going to sleep at night physically and allowing your body to reset its height. Small gives you time to recover creatively. Now, just because you're being small doesn't mean you're doing small things, by the way. You're doing the other things that need to be taken care of while you were busy being tall. That can be, from a work perspective, things like answering emails or things that maybe don't require you to be as creative.
What is this meeting about?
The business of your business, but also the business of life. Sometimes you have to go away and be small to get away from the tall of your vulnerability in that moment, or maybe you were a bit too exposed. Switching between tall and small.
I'm tall, I'm small, I'm tall, I'm small.
Necessary part of every day. Creative on, creative off. Creative on, creative off. Living life, getting things done. Now, remember, I'm just making this up. But I think the premise is correct Because if you want to be creative, to make a career out of being creative, you have to sort of know when is your best time to be like on it.
Tall.
Because if you know that time, you can structure your day around certain things that you have to do during the day. And you won't always be able to act in moments of tall. This is an aside. So sometimes you have to be forced tall, and you have to know how to force yourself into that tallness. The longer you work in your career, the easier that will be, or the more accepting you will be of having to do that.
I just found out I'm actually going to be tall.
That's just what it is to be a professional. Don't be one of those waiting for my muse people.
My muse.
That's all I'm saying.
But my muse is starving.
Anyway, am I weird for being a morning tall? Like, let's look at some research. Admittedly, I only looked at one source of research, so that's why I did the disclaimer at the beginning of the episode, I guess. I know you love a good study. Here's some interesting little stats.
And my research shows...
This study was done in 2019 and was based on a study of 1,000 workers in the UK. So we're going to have to accept that our tea-drinking friends from across the pond or across the world or across the table from you are representative of us all.
Britannica from the UK, that's probably why I talk this way.
1,000 people. This study investigated the time of day when we feel most creative. What is it? Do you want to take a guess? I don't know why I'm asking you. I'm not going to hear you if you're shouting at the screen right now. But what do I care? Yell all you want. It found that the most creative time of day, or as I would put it, the time when people felt tallest, at 11:05 in the AM. Now that's a very specific time. The optimum time window when the juices are flowing the best is actually between 10 and 11:30, with 11:05 being that just peak of tallness. Now, 1,000 people, they're not all going to be doing the same job. Like, how does the time change based on what you're actually doing, whether you're a designer or a writer or whatever? Well, there were variations. And here I shall quote from the story that I read about this study in. Quote, designers specifically have their best light bulb moments at 10:16 a.m. and architects slightly earlier at 10:06. Meanwhile, artists take a little longer to warm up, with most inspiration striking at 11:46 a.m. So all those people seem to be, more on the design side of things. What about writers? I found this bit interesting because, I've said that I'm a morning tall. The study showed that journalists felt that their moment of peak creativity was at 9:48 a.m. Morning people. Now, that's still not 5 a.m. like me. I wonder where authors would fit in that study. Interesting tidbit from the study. Doctors felt most creative at 12 p.m. Is that something you actually want? A creative doctor?
Hi, everybody.
I think I would prefer a doctor to not make shit up. Just a thought. Anyway, that was this week's post. The tall order of the creative sweet spot. Go find your tall. It's out there. It might be out here on the lost coast of California, which is where I am. It's foggy, or else I would show you out the window. It just looks like fog. But I've been feeling quite tall up here, which may be a result of the fact that I'm on the side of a mountain and I'm in a 2-story house. But that's physical tall. Are you a morning person? I didn't even get into night owls. But I did read a thing that said night owls tend to be more productive at night because there's less distractions, which I think is probably the same as my 5 a.m. morning tall, because you don't have people emailing you, there's no one calling you to a meeting, there's no phone calls, less distractions. It's good. Remember, being tall is a state of creative mind, spine. Peak creativity, as in peak, top of the mountain, tallest part of a tall, tall mountain. Find your tall time zone and then set your watch by it. If you can, work in that zone. And remember, it's okay to be small.
It smells good.
You need to be both small and tall throughout the day. Small is just resting tall. Go get 'em, Stretch.